The Steelers and Browns met today in Pittsburgh. Now, you probably recall just a couple of weeks ago, the same two teams play a Thursday night football game, and it turned ugly. Now, Myles Garrett tore off Mason Rudolph's helmet. He hit him on top of the head with it. There were suspensions, fines. It was just an...
Okay. That's not what happened. And every time the lie is repeated, I think eventually all these people could be sued and they could all pay a fine. I don't know to who. I don't know if Garrett Myles will ever sue. But anybody who says Garrett Myles pulled Mason Rudolph's helmet off and then hit him with it is lying. They're leaving out critical information. Myles Garrett pulled off Mason Rudolph's helmet, had it in his hand, backpedaled 15 feet while Mason Rudolph charged him, put both of his hands on Garrett's upper body, one of them holding his shoulder pad, the other one grabbing for his face mask. He had a deranged look on his face. He looked like Freddy Krueger. Remember, he had no helmet on. So you see, there's actually footage where you see this face. It looks like it's photoshopped onto him. He looks so deranged. All before Myles Garrett hit him with the helmet. So the reality is, Myles Garrett pulled off the helmet, backpedaled 15 feet, and defended himself against a crazed guy who was trying to assault him. It's self-defense. So if you're ever going to be a reporter, don't do what this person did and what everyone else is doing. They're repeating something without even studying the footage. You can't, if you backpedal 15 feet, it means you're in a defensive mode. If somebody's coming at you, it means they're the aggressor, which means if you respond, it's self-defense. Now, just to be clear, what I think should have happened on the suspensions, Mason Rudolph should have gotten 1 game for trying to take off Myles Garrett's helmet. Garrett should have gotten 2 or 3 games suspension for pulling off Mason Rudolph's helmet. But Mason Rudolph should have gotten another 2 or 3 games for running around the field like a crazed lunatic assaulting other people. So Mason Rudolph should have gotten 3 or 4 games, and Myles Garrett should have gotten 2 or 3 games suspension. That's what should have happened. And the more this nonsense gets repeated, this connecting of 2 acts that were not connected. They're not connected. Pulling off the helmet and then hitting him over the head were not connected. There was 15 feet of backpedaling and aggressive action by Mason Rudolph before Myles Garrett responded. So if you're out there and you're one day thinking of being a reporter or news anchor or whatever, always review the footage, especially on anything that happens really fast. Like if it's in the news right away, like everybody's talking about it and they're all saying the same thing, go watch the footage yourself and really analyze it. And just don't be like everybody else and just repeat the same thing, because you might be repeating a lie. And I hope one day somebody will rectify this and Myles Garrett's reputation will be restored to some degree. This has been the worst, I don't even want to use the word lynching. This has just been the worst character attack, because nobody really brought any video forensics people in, which is what should have happened. They all saw that one angle that looks horrible. We all agree. But nobody studied the feet, who was backpedaling, who was running, who was continuing the saga. Ask yourself this. If Mason Rudolph had just gotten up and not charged at Myles Garrett, what would have happened? Think about it. There would have been no helmet incident. It's possible Myles Garrett would have just handed him back the helmet. And they would have apologized or whatever. We're never going to know. And the instigator has gotten a reprieve. And ironically enough, I think Mason Rudolph, deep down inside, he has to know he caused it. And he had his moment of glory when he raised his arms, and yet now he's benched. Maybe if he'd been the character guy back then and admitted that if he hadn't gotten up and charged Garrett, none of the rest would have ever happened. Who knows? Maybe he would have even played better. Maybe he'd still have his job.